Hello friends, and welcome back to Random Hearts. Today we're standing in the garage and we are in front of all these glorious new seedlings. This is most of my seedlings. I do have a few still in the house, but most of them have transitioned out to the garage. Now, they don't get a lot of direct light from the garage here. It is a south-facing door behind my camera, and so I do open that most days, but the hardening off process is one of those where you need to be climatizing your plants to outdoor conditions. Now remember, all of these were grown indoors, and so they had controlled environments, temperature, wind speed. I had a fan on them, but it doesn't have gusts, and we have gusty wind here. Light source was constant. I didn't have high levels of, UV during the daytime hours, lower at the night. It's all a constant all day long. So that climate controlled process is great for starting seeds indoors. But as they need to transition outside into those harsher conditions, that is where the hardening off process is very necessary. Now, there are some people that do not believe this is a necessary step, but in my climate where we can have a 50-degree temperature change between the daytime high and the nighttime low, we can also have wind speeds up to 50, 60 miles an hour with gusts. And plants do not like that kind of conditioning. And so this is the process of getting them used to being in my climate, in my outdoor conditions. So today I'm going to start moving these outdoors. Now they've been in the garage for about a week now, and I have already started this process. We moved them out a couple of days ago for like 20 minutes, let them have some time outside. They do kind of struggle on that first day, and you'll look at them and you'll be like, oh my gosh, have I killed all my plants? But if you move them back indoors very quickly after that 20-minute cycle, they will get used to it. They will recover. So the next day I moved them out for about 40 minutes, almost an hour. And after a few minutes, like 15, 20 minutes, I rotate so that all of my plants are getting equal time on the sun. And then yesterday I had them out for 2 hours, and today I'm going to try to put them out for 3 hours. So we are just gradually moving them into a position where they want to be outside, they're okay with being outside, and it doesn't put them into shock. So let's go ahead and move these outdoors.
I am going to begin by bringing out a very large folding table. This folding table will do several things. First of all, it elevates my plants so that they are getting exposure to the wind. I've noticed that they don't get as much when they're laying on the ground or sitting on the ground. I also want to keep my dog out of these because she does get a little bit curious. And I am using this table as sun protection. If I notice that a plant is struggling with some UV problems, I can sit it underneath the table where it's a little more shaded. And you will also notice that we have a tree to the left-hand side. That aspen tree does not have leaves on it yet, but by afternoon it is shading that table. And it does provide some protection from the sun. And yes, I do get quite a few steps in on these days.
Now that I have my plants and seedlings outside, I want to make sure they are well watered in. They are all small 4-inch pots. And so if they do not have enough moisture, that sun, high UV, and our wind will suck the moisture right out of these little seedlings. So I want to make sure that I am monitoring at all times while they are outside in this hardening off process. So I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour. After that 1 hour, I'm going to come out. I'm going to check on everything, make sure that the wind conditions are still okay. I don't want any gusty wind. I want a little bit of a breeze, but nothing that is going to harm these plants. I also want to make sure that I'm rotating all of my plants so they're getting equal exposure to the sun. You'll notice even after an hour, plants will start leaning towards the sun. So I want to push them the other direction so I don't get a huge lean in my plant stems. I also want to make sure that I am monitoring this and making sure that weather conditions don't change. So I am not going to leave my house during this process. I'm going to make sure I'm here for that full 3 hours today. After that 1 hour, I will set another timer and come back out after another hour. So that will happen 3 times today. Tomorrow, if our weather conditions are good enough, I will do this process again and increase that time to 4 hours. Gradually, I want to start getting my plants used to being outside the whole day. We cannot plant out in our garden yet for at least the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, some of my kale, cabbage, some of those cool weather crops I can start planting here pretty soon, but things like tomatoes, peppers, those will probably wait till the second week of June to plant out. So I've got plenty of time to get them ready for this process and get them ready to be outside in these conditions. So that is our hardening off process. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. That tells me that this was helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear from you. We would also love it if you would subscribe to the channel, so please hit that subscribe button. And if you have any other questions or comments for me, please let me know. We appreciate you being here. We hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon.